I mean, it was like a good concept, right? And I'm all for like female equality
Yeah,
and female empowerment, but like the execution was so bad. But I mean, that's what you have to expect, right, from a Jack Neo film.
Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of Zula Chick Chats, and today we'll be talking about a recent film that came out, which is Our Girls Go Army Again. Yeah, again. I thought it was like Our Girls Go Army 2. No, it's Our Girls Go Army Again. Yeah, and it's the sequel to Our Girls Go Army, which came out, is it last year? Is it last year or this year? This year.
This year.
Yeah. This year, February during Chinese New Year or January during Chinese New Year, and this came out recently, 16 June. Yeah. Oh, before I set the context, I need to introduce the people on this panel. Right? I totally forgot about that. So hi everybody, I'm Leah.
I'm Ida.
I'm Bri.
I'm Mitch.
Okay, and yes, now that you know everyone, let's set some context about the show. So the film, right? Okay, I'm reading the synopsis from the Google. So the film is set in a theoretical future where, due to declining birth rate in Singapore, there's not enough males to fulfill the national service manpower requirements. That's why the females have to do it, right? And so this film focuses on 14 Gen Z girls. I didn't know they were supposed to be Gen Z.
Gen Z?
Yeah, it says here 14
I mean,
Gen
technically,
Z
they all
girls.
had to enlist at like 17, 18, right?
Okay, so the context is they were supposed
I
to be...
think so, yeah. I mean, they went through like BMT and everything.
Right, okay.
But like, how much in the future is this?
So, yeah.
Are they talking? Is it still Gen Z?
I don't know.
Gen Z's look like freaking old.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Oh my god, savage.
Not you dragging them right from the start.
Oh, okay, so they were from different socio-economic backgrounds. That's why you see like a variety of characters being portrayed lah. And I think part 2 specifically, right, is about how they have a little bit more challenges in terms of like going on the field, like they go field camp and everything to like do more of like the physical training and stuff. And part 2 starts from, okay, it says here, Sergeant Chow's actions are misconstrued, but in the face of tough challenges, the girls develop a stronger bond and mature together. So at this point, they're all like bonding and being friends. And then there's other parts of the show where there's like some love drama, relationship drama with Lieutenant Roxanne Tan and Joey. Okay, and then they go through like obstacle course in the GBMT journey, which leads them to a dangerous situation. And their actions will shock the nation.
This is a summary of
Yeah, I don't know. Exactly. Okay.
pretty much talked about the show entirely in this
Yeah,
episode,
it's like in these 3 points we have covered the plot of this show.
right? That's the end of the today's episode.
Yay! So that brings to the next question, which is like, you guys have all seen the movie, the second movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the movie?
No, like I was like referring to what Mitch said before we even started filming. Like, what were her thoughts were literally no thoughts, hit empty. But when I watched it, there was barely any plot.
I understand what you're
Yeah, like it felt like a extremely long commercial, or like a parody. Okay, or you know like Mad TV or SNL, like they do skits. And they were like parodying serious situations.
okay.
It felt like that, but I felt like they actually did not know that they were being a parody. It
Okay,
felt like
right.
they took it like really seriously.
Right.
Yeah, but it was just not. Like it was just like
It's not it for you.
it was not it at all.
When I said like no thoughts, hate empty, like, it doesn't mean it's a bad show.
Okay.
It's just like it's not a heavy show. It's
Yeah.
a very like lighthearted. You don't really have to think so much. You just have to laugh along. So, I guess. It's
Did
a
you
good
laugh
show.
though?
I actually did.
Oh.
So like
You love at which part?
a lot of parts. So I guess I'm very easily amused.
Okay, I am also a very easily amused
Right.
person. But I don't know, I found it a bit cringy, like some of the jokes.
But I still laughed. So
Okay
I
lah.
guess it was fun.
Them or with them?
It's with them. I'm sure you laugh as well.
No.
We have the same like level of humor. Like I know.
Okay, speak for yourself. I don't know why, I just felt like... Do you guys go to poly? And I
Yes.
study film. You know, like in year 1, right? We had to do like, okay guys, go film something for 30 minutes. Yeah, I just kind of felt like that.
So it felt like a school project lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the idea was there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it was like a good concept, right? And I'm all for like female equality,
Yeah,
female empowerment,
same.
but like the execution was so bad. But I mean, that's what you have to expect, right, from a Jack Neo film.
We're gonna get
No,
cancelled.
I mean, he does have his like wins in the past. Like I
Yeah.
mean, Home Run was great.
Yeah, I Know Stupid was
great.
No, that was a classic, right?
Yeah, I Know Stupid was a classic, and then like even Money No Enough was like not terrible,
Yeah.
but I think just like it got worse over time. I don't know, man.
I don't think it got worse. I feel like he's just sticking to what worked in like the
Right.
past, and like he just never.
But it doesn't
changed
really
it.
work now.
Correct.
It
Yeah.
didn't adapt lah to
Yeah.
the times. I agree, and actually I feel I don't know why when I watched it I felt like the whole thing was filmed very rushed. Like it felt very like okay, dun, 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 and then like you know everything was like trying to squeeze as much as possible into like 1.5 hour movie. That there's no character development, and maybe there was too many characters to focus on. But like Bryce said, I'm all for like female empowerment and stuff like that. But there are certain things that in the movie I felt kind of diminished that. And it made it seem to be, which is the main kind of feedback that a lot of people have, which is that it didn't represent women well in the show. And to be honest, to be fair, he also replied and said like it's just like a comedy thing, not to be taken too seriously and stuff. So I totally get where he's coming from. It's just that as an audience when you watch it, it doesn't feel good to like keep seeing these stereotypes, you know, being
Yeah.
portrayed on camera. Yeah. So before this, did you guys watch Girls School Army 1, like the first one?
I did not.
I didn't.
Okay, why did we not watch it?
I feel like from the clips on Twitter and like Facebook and stuff, I thought like, okay lah, enough lah. That's okay.
Okay. Like not really your style.
Not really my style, and also like so many people like put so many previews, right? that It's just like, okay lah, roughly I know really what this is about.
Okay,
Yeah.
understand.
I mean, I must admit that when Our Boys to Men came out, my group of secondary school friends, we're all guys, and we were like, okay, let's watch it for fun. And like, we still kind of enjoyed that experience because we could relate a bit more directly. But I think Our Girls Go Army is good to show like what it's like in national service for females, etc. But to me, it was just like I'm gonna watch something that I already know. I probably watched something similar before because Our Boys to Men was just a guy version of this.
Correct.
You know? Yeah. So for me, it's like I didn't have any interest lah.
And just based on like the press and the things that you all saw about it, like what is like the biggest thing that kind of like stood out for you?
I think for me, like the whole, okay, we are doing an open casting call, but then in the end, like they only got like one person.
From the open casting call?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, they got like one person, but then like basically it was like free marketing, like, because everyone was like putting on their Instagram and their Facebook, like, hey, this is my audition and whatever, right? So before even they started filming, they were already like, yeah, a Girls School Army movie, blah blah blah.
One of the few press points that people mentioned were like the names, like the character name controversies. First of all, I interviewed Kelly, who played Amanda Ong in the show, but I think previously her initial name was Amanda Man. Okay, according to Jack Neo, it's Man. But he said that it was not like insensitive because he didn't mean it to be like a trans, like to relate
Then
to
what
her
did he
being
mean it
transgender.
as, right?
Cute.
Yeah. Like Man isn't even like
Um,
very common
yeah,
surname.
exactly.
Could have just been Amanda Tan, you know?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Yeah, so when I interviewed Kelly on Azula, she said that when she spoke with him, he felt very apologetic about it and like decided that, you know, like he wanted to change. It wasn't his intention and stuff. But just from my own intuition, right, based on all the other character names that were on the show, I was like, I think he meant it like literally, but
Yeah.
he didn't mean it in a way for people to take it the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like he didn't want people to take like a negative kind of
Yeah,
like
it's just like a comedy kind of
yeah,
like angle
but
to
it's
it.
like these kind of things have to be a bit sensitive, you know,
Yeah.
Mr. Jack Neo.
I think it was like funny when it was like the 90s and people weren't really sensitive
Like the Liang
about
Po Po
things.
period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then like the other character name like Yuan Yuan.
Yeah.
Like fat jokes are so like 90s, you know. It's
A
like
bit.
it's not funny anymore to like fat shame someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, how was Cece okay with this?
She said she was okay.
Yeah.
What she said was cute. Like it's meant like I guess maybe to her it's okay, but it's kind of like the example you want to set to like other people as well, like from the show itself, right? And it's like not really a great what's tone to set.
Yeah.
Oh yes, so there's this tweet here that is screenshotted. It says, no one's triggered by Jack Neo making a fat joke. Everyone's triggered because it's the same joke he's been making since the 80s. The lack of growth in popular media here is staggering, literally.
Which is what Brian said, lor.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's the same joke. Like actually, he does recycle a lot of like plots and like plot points and jokes. If you like watch his films over the years, like I think our age we all grew up with some Jack Neo films, right? And then it's like always the same like stupid humor, you know, that made sense when we were kids and like we laugh along with it. And then now we're like adults who know better, and it's just not like cool anymore, you know.
Yeah.
But do like this current like generation of kids, right? Do they find it funny like as much as we did previously? Like you reckon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like my parents find it funny though.
But like why? Really?
I don't know. It's just like the kind of humor back in the past lah. Like if my dad watches it, he will definitely laugh.
Yeah.
But also like maybe because it's their mindset, like
Right.
his mindset is also like not very like progressive as well.
Right.
So like
Right.
he will use certain labels that like I'm not.
So
Yeah.
my question is, do these films then only appeal to like straight Chinese people?
Yes.
And like, is it exclusive?
The
like,
Malay, yes. So
I mean, like even in the show when you watch it, right, the amount of times they switch to like speaking in Chinese is
Yeah.
like very often. And
Yeah.
let's talk about the token minority characters who had like 2 lines in
Kamala
the show.
and-
Kamala and who is the other
the
person?
Malay girl.
No, she actually barely spoke
her
well.
name?
I don't even know the name
Yeah, I
of
don't
the
know the
girl.
Name, but I don't know. I don't even know her character name.
Yeah, she did. Okay, to me it's right. Like you want diversity, sir. Like I totally get it. Like you want them to be. You casted for people who like this, right? Can't you at least make one of them like the main
Yeah.
4 people in the
Correct.
shows?
Right.
The main 4 people or 5 people are all Chinese people.
All Chinese.
Right.
Like, can you just make one person like
Okay,
who's
but, like,
of a
quick
minority
check, right?
race? Yes.
Is this movie supposed to be like a Chinese movie? Or is it a
No.
Singaporean movie? Because I legit don't know.
Singaporean.
I think it's a Singaporean
I think it's a
movie.
Singaporean
yeah.
movie, but they also know their core audience are gonna be Chinese people lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
know,
that's
but
the issue there, I
still.
guess.
I want to cry.
She just wants to like cater to people
Like
who
to play on the stereotype.
Correct.
Yeah, but then I think it's also restrictive to us not being able to grow.
Yeah.
If he's still gonna like keep playing on these stereotypes, because it's like two steps forward and then like 1 step back with all these movies coming out every year, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like his movie is like very not influential, but it's like it's
Yeah.
a huge thing that people
Yeah.
always like talk about and everything, right? It's
Like us right now.
yeah, it's like the fact that we're even making a video about it is like big enough, right? So to me, it's like if you have the platform to be able to do these things, at least try to represent a bit more or like move forward with like the progression and the mindsets of the people nowadays, like you know what I mean? Anyway, we can talk a little bit more about this later on. So, y'all wanna watch the Argus God Army, the first trailer, like the first movie trailer?
Okay.
The decline in birth rate have resulted in a serious shortage of manpower in the national service.
Welcome to GBMT. Sergeant, I think we no need to NF already because they saw put wrong place it's a rubbish. So I'm here is a rubbish.
I don't like this girl.
Bloody hell!
The way they made
Overhang your clothing and your undergarment on the railing. You stay what? Hey, keep it flat, is it? Show me your nails. Now. Wow. Very good, huh? Ever cut your fingernail?
I think that because cabinet is so ugly, so I design this one. Nice, right? We can bloody idea!
Knock it down now.
Glenn Young looks really good though. Like in this character.
I never see
It's the uniform, sis.
I have no comments. I will reserve all my comments.
I see her. I damn angry leh. Wait, give them a chance. But
The one line, one token line that we have from her.
Nice, gentleman and handsome. I scared I fall in love like Korean drama. 姐妹们，咱们加油的！
As far as chemo cream is concerned, from what I know, most of the soldiers hated it.
I don't mind to protect my country, but will my country protect my face?
It's okay. I like it.
I think you should tell Sergeant.
I think you should tell.
I think you shouldn't tell.
MS is not only about military training, but it's a place where friendships are built.
Fear is only an illusion. Only when you can overcome your fear, then you can overcome the enemy.
I'm sorry, okay? I really said so many times I'm sorry. Sorry. Burden.
If you are sad, we will accompany you. And we will never leave you alone.
We born in unity, we gonna be the best and we can be our girls go army. 3, 2, 1, we are ready.
Showtime.
Let me remind you. You are in the army, not holiday camp. There's one more of you. You are in the cabinet.
Yes, Sergeant. I taking cover.
CNY movie.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, the trailer looked quite interesting.
But it's always the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So who edited the trailer, like props to them.
Yeah. So like some points just based off the trailer, right, is that there was a fat joke of some sort where she stood up from the chair and then like
In the trailer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you not see?
I'm blind. No, I didn't see.
not paying attention to the important parts. No, I'm kidding.
But honestly, it could be like anyone. It doesn't have to be like a particularly like plus size person, you know? Like I could stand up on a chair and also fall back, right?
Yeah, but they only made her do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Very rude. I just feel like the way, like way the script was crafted, right? It exaggerated a lot of the things that, you know, maybe issues that girls face, right? But they exaggerated it to the point where it's like, wow, it's like we are like dainty, like fragile creatures who cannot do anything when they go to the army or whatever, or cannot handle like any of this kind of like physical training and stuff. Yeah, which kind of sucks lah.
It's like everything that people make fun of girls for. And they just,
Oh my god, yeah
the nails and then the I will go to camp and then like fight over my boyfriend or whatever.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a go to camp and then like my boyfriend like leave me because I go that kind of vibes. And then like you're crying over a guy in
Exactly.
camp kind of thing. Okay, I mean that one not that inaccurate lah. It's not exclusive to females only because I do think that like it happens probably to guys too.
Correct.
So yeah. Okay, so we watched the first movie trailer. Let's watch the Our Girls School Army Again trailer now.
Anybody wants to report sick?
谢谢你嘞。For what? 带我们去死 so that we can rest.
Girl. You throw a stone in Orchard Road, you can find.
Yeah lor.
Should I try?
Only
Yeah.
way to do it is to find a hard object and hunt down the enemy. Kampung Sapareba.
This is not a standard issue weapon. Who gave to you?
Sir, this is my initiative. Now I know what's the initiative already.
This is bullshit initiative.
Your shell script must be your body length.
They can.
Do you want confinement?
You are dead.
Sir, but why?
I must give other people a chance to be leader. Am I right?
It's okay, I like it.
Hey, like it, like it. Let's give it to you.
Wow.
Of course they must feature the boys, of course.
You all see before in a Korean drama?
I forgot his name. It's like
I
Joshua.
want you all to feel that you are the leopard. Huh? The leopard is inside you.
Yes, I don't know if you can tell, my hair is standing right now. I'm getting goosebumps.
Is it cold?
Our family, our loved ones, and our country.
So unconventional. How to write this report?
Okay. Slay. Okay, anyway. Thoughts? For the
Actually,
part 2?
I've only watched the music video prior to watching the film. I didn't even watch the trailer.
Oh, yeah, the second one.
As in, what made you watch it? Like it was on your feed?
We
or?
watched it
We
during
watched it during Cohesion.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Try to learn the dance.
You're trying to learn the dance? Oh my god.
Aida,
Can you
when I'll
do
show
now?
you.
Can you do it?
Not me, Aida.
Okay, y'all do it. Come on, Aida, you got it. Okay, we're gonna play that video
Let's go
now.
army again.
Okay, Daniel cast her. Then you can dance, you know, then they need people who can dance, right?
You also can dance,
I don't know, I cannot. I'm not token minority. No, they already got tattoo girl inside, don't need me already. Play. This is so funny oh my god. Honestly, but at least the second, okay.
Oh my god. Fragment room ah.
Yeah, probably.
Hey,
They just automatically move.
No.
Okay, slay Kelly.
Yeah.
She damn slay I
know, right?
She freaking slay. Best character in the show. That's why I interview her.
Don't worry, I have the strength, my section and me. Don't you cry for me, don't feel sad for me. I will pick up the gun and run to fulfill my duty. All you haters, listen carefully. I will find how do we do that.
Aida, come on! Come on, Aida! What is this? Where? No, there's a K-pop dance group that covered this song. Yeah, right. Who? They created a choreo for this song. I think they got paid to do it. Yeah, it's like a quite famous Singaporean. Not K-pop, like K-pop.
First day, we started off as strangers. Time passed, we can't leave each other. Army, we marched all day. I used to wipe tears, but now I wipe gears.
Y'all look very different from the show.
No, actually in real life they all look very different.
Yeah.
When you're watching the video just now, right?
Yeah.
We never hold back. Marching left, right, I got your back. Hey, girl, you will be strong. Hold my hand and sing along. We are girls, no army to fight for our land. All together we will defend because we know we can.
Right?
That's the mommy, don't you worry.
Oh yeah, what's the mommy? That one is damn funny.
Show the whole world that our girls also can.
Oh, don't have?
Oh.
What, where was that
Did we
one
miss
from,
it? Okay, thoughts on the music video.
This is worse than the first one.
Is this worse
Which-
than the first one?
the
I
first
think
one
the
or
first one is
what,
worse
though?
one because it's the nursery
dancing
rhyme.
As in the live performance.
No, wait, the first music video, isn't it the one that's just dancing one?
No, it's the girls go army.
Yeah, just dancing, right? Was it not?
I felt like the first one is not as appealing because like everybody said it sounded like a nursery rhyme, and then actually it did because I went to watch Yolo's video prior to this, right? And then he said like he realized why it was a nursery rhyme is because it's like the Once I Caught a Fish Alive, that song.
Oh my god,
yeah.
yes.
He said it. I was like, oh my god, it hit me. It hit me. Like I was really like, okay.
They better pay the like credits to the nursery rhyme writer.
I fainted.
Yeah.
I cannot. This one I think a bit better. Like it's not as nursery rhyme-ish, and it's a bit more kind of similar to the A Boys to Men kind of
Yeah,
rap songs
yeah.
that they do.
But it's not catchy. Try sing it now.
We
the
are
mommy,
girls,
mommy.
we go army. Wow, look at me! Big fan. No, I confused with the first one and the second one. I said, is it the same song or different? Right. I'm trying to sing the correct one. Yeah. But okay, so in the music video they actually like kind of tore up like the hate comments that people were commenting about them and stuff. Then I don't know what were your thoughts about that? Like that kind of Easter egg thing? Because that's what I think Kelly mentioned to me, that it was a bit of an Easter egg that they plugged it inside. Like the burning of the comments thing.
Damn, if you didn't say it, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do y'all feel like the movie deserved this much like kind of like hate comments or feedback from like the public?
Obviously they didn't make this movie to offend people.
Of course.
I think they made the movie with like good intentions.
To make money.
To make money.
Correct.
And also like I guess to represent females in a more like even playing field, etc. But I just think that, you know, if you put something out there, it's out there for people to judge right? So we're also entitled to our opinions. Yeah. Like we see lah, like I mean yes, it makes sense for like a typical, okay, I wouldn't say typical, but for like the general Singapore population, I can see how it appeals to them.
Correct.
But it's just not like our vibe lah. Yeah.
Has anyone told you that though?
Told me what?
Like, oh, Our Girls Go Army is actually a pretty like okay
No,
movie,
no,
blah,
no,
blah,
thank
blah.
God, no.
It's pretty okay, I feel. Mitch.
No, as in like I wouldn't watch it, but I understand why he made it.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
like
Yeah.
if he doesn't make it, like no one else is gonna make like these kind of like shows.
But is there still a need for this kind of shows?
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
but like if he's making so much money,
Oh yeah, he made
it's like
1.5
everyone is
million.
watching.
Yeah.
1.1 million.
So I guess if
He made 1.5.
we
1.1 million
Stop
in 3
watching
days.
I mean, okay, do y'all remember when CNA did that documentary series on army like recruits
Yes.
called Every Singaporean Son.
Yes.
And that was so much more classy
Yeah.
and proper, and like it really depicted what NS life looked like more accurately.
Right.
So like I would rather watch that anytime over like a parody film that, you know, tries to show what army life is like.
No, the problem with this show, right, is because it's not a full-on parody.
Yeah.
That is the issue, because he made it such that some parts are very realistic and some parts are very parody. So it's very like disorientating to watch it, because you don't know like how much of it is a parody, but then some parts are like really real, like he wants to make it as like realistic as possible.
Right.
So it's kind of like it was too many objectives at once. If anything, he should make the whole thing a parody. He should have probably not even done like in a military like kind of like setting. Should have done it somewhere else. Okay, so now we are gonna go into the plot of the show for part 2, I'll go School Army again. What are the major plot points that stood out for you that y'all would like to talk about?
When what's the girl who I guess helped her friend pay back the $10,000.
Oh yes, at the start, right?
Yeah, that was literally like her only like character growth. I feel like okay, last time I loved money, now never mind, thank you. So
And it happened so fast.
Yeah.
It was just like, ta-da, and then they like pay wave through the phone.
Yeah.
Like, was that a plug promotion or something like that? Yeah. No, but cannot be like they never show the phone. Imagine they show the phone, the ding, like the DBS to pay now. So then she transferred the money, and then like it was like over. Then the loan shark was like, bye.
bye.
Then they're like, you need a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
a bit cringe lah.
a bit cringe. Yeah. But
I think like all the like plot points when they were not featuring the army parts were all like very touch and go. Right?
actually, yeah.
Yeah, like even the scene where the girl was trying to help her recruit take revenge on the guy that was cheating on her with, and then they were all at the restaurant.
Yes.
And then they all stood up from the chair.
It's a musical.
Yeah, that was like, what High School Musical moment is this? And then they started singing the Bravo, like, you know, that platoon Bravo chant.
Yep.
That was so cringe. I'm so sorry. But I mean, yes, like, slave for like exposing the guy and like putting him in his place. But like, oh, that scene was like so weird. It's so cringe. I could not.
I felt it was like a very weird dream that I was watching. Okay, I like the camaraderie kind of aspect, like where they kind of team up to show this guy like, you know, you don't deserve us, that kind of like mindset and everything. I like that spirit. It's just that the way it reached that point was very unnatural. Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Yeah.
It seems very forced. Like everything that comes out of the mouth doesn't seem like a natural conversation. It's like the anything else you want me to have? And then the guy's like, no, Sergeant.
But generally, isn't that all like Mediacorp shows?
Okay, fair.
The intonation that they take also.
Like no, the toning, the tone of the way they speak, right? Is very like.
No.
Hey, you can be custard.
Yeah. What do you think about like the scenes where every time Glenn Yong appeared on screen, like some Korean cheesy BGM would appear?
It's like slow-mo.
Like slow-mo, and then he looks
really
so
get slow-mo
suave.
that much. Do you notice?
To me, it was well deserved.
Okay.
Brenda is right. I see it. Only as like Sergeant Chow though, not as like.
Yeah,
Daniel.
only cause of the uniform lah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Does Brenda know we're using her to like talk about her crush on the internet? It's very funny, so I found that quite hilarious. And then the food panda. Okay, I actually
It's
found.
Malay.
Yes! I was like, what a stereotype to like. I didn't want to say
didn't
it,
say
but
But it's okay if I say it.
It's okay.
We're just waiting. We're just waiting.
We're
for
just
you to
waiting
say.
for Aida to say it. Okay,
Yeah.
wait, no, but like, I found that product placement quite funny.
It was quite funny.
I
It was
liked
okay,
it.
yeah.
I laughed.
It would be better than them saying like, let's go to Food Panda and order the
Yeah,
delivery.
yeah.
They got free delivery for 20% off
Yeah.
in the middle of the night. Like I wouldn't have liked that, but
Yeah.
I like that kind of cameo appearance and the way they crafted that. It's just that it's a bit unrealistic, right? Like
yeah.
that it made the product placement not as bad. I think
Yeah.
the first movie, a lot of people were commenting about like the product placement of it,
Yeah.
right? And it was like very in your face. I feel like for the second one, it wasn't that bad, right?
Right.
Do you feel like it wasn't as many?
I didn't watch the first one.
Okay.
But I felt like it was, other than the Food Panda, there wasn't any like
Very
product
stand out
placement.
one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I think in the first movie, right, what happened when the product placement was a little bit insensitive because the girl was like, I want coffee, and then in the first movie, the nurse was like, no, don't drink coffee, drink this alkaline water. After she actually just tried to commit suicide. So that's why it was a bit of like a
What? Suddenly.
like in the nurse or like whoever gave her like the alkaline water. Yeah, it's just like a bit okay. I do think like the plot point about the suicide and everything in like the first season when she wanted to commit suicide over her boyfriend or whatever. I think it was handled a little bit more like insensitively. Like they didn't really see like the importance of like handling suicide properly, right? And stuff. But that's like the first movie. So like that's the kind of product placements that happened in the first movie. So I think the second one was a little bit better, a little bit more less in your face-ish.
I wanted to say like one more thing was that they used the like two people saying the same thing at the same time too often. Like when they say like burden, then two people say it together burden, and then like who's that? Princessy said animal. No, it's enemy. 3 people said it together.
It's a bit like kindergarten vibes.
Yeah.
Is that why we don't like it? Because it feels very like childish. I think that's why.
But I think that's like the common thread among like all his films though.
Our boys to men, it was not
Yeah,
that
it wasn't
bad,
like
right?
this. They
I
made
think they
the-
really spoke that badly.
They made the girls speak like very thin.
Yeah. Like they make girls seem like dumb. You know, when
and
they're
very
not.
like childish.
Yeah.
You steal my boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's why then I'm like, I guess it's really the scripting and like the way they were told to like speak. Yeah, no, that's why I also really like Kelly's character, which is Amanda, right? Because she's the only one who spoke like normally.
Yeah.
Correct.
And she was like in the forest, she's like, anybody find you, I beat them. They go, just like slay. I would say that too. You know what I mean? Like, anybody bully you, I like beat them. And I'm like, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? She had barely had any lines also.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had so
And she tell me like she in the camp and filmed so much and everything. I was like, she barely spoke like 5 lines in the part 2.
Even throughout the entire movie, they use the fade out black screen a lot. I was like, is this a like really like school project lor? Yeah.
Transition.
Transition.
Jack Straw.
I got no more clips to put here, put transition. No, they probably just B-roll something, like B-roll the nature or
like
something.
a sky or
like the
some-
army camp, like B-roll something
Yeah.
there. I think they forgot the B-rolls. I think Jack Neo forgot the B-rolls. So after watching the movie, I'm sure a lot of people had criticism about it that kind of resonated with some of the things that we mentioned also. So I'll just read out a few and y'all can share your thoughts on it. So the first article title is Our Girls School Army Review. Jack Neo's tone-deaf military comedy makes you wonder when he last hung out around young women. Which is like kind of true because it implies that he doesn't know like how women like are nowadays. But I guess in that article they also mentioned here to kind of like justify why he does things his way is that he says, then again, Neo doesn't do characters, he does caricatures and cliches and he marches to the beat of his own drum. Problem is he's tone deaf. Other risible misfires, a PG-friendly hand job gag and shenanigans involving a suicide trainee. There's also a lot of fighting. Is Neo making a prisons movie? Sigh. Women's prisons movie? Sigh. Yes. So most people who are reviewing his films also can understand that he's like doing it as part of like satire or like making it exaggerated. Do you also agree with what they said?
I mean, yes, but also these kind of points that you're bringing up is quite moot. I mean, not you, sorry. The writer is quite moot lah, cause like we already know that's how moot. M-O-O-T. It's a moot point.
I thought like moot is a moot.
No,
That's
it's
like, okay.
Moot point. Because like we already know lah. This is how he
Yeah.
is ma. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess like if Jack Neo doesn't do all these things like stereotyping, all these like funny things, right? Like
Will he be Jack Neo?
I can't really see
Yeah.
him doing like a serious movie.
Like what was his last serious movie though?
Did he do a serious movie before?
I feel Home Run.
Home Run was really
so long ago.
Okay, Home Run was good.
So he
Yeah.
can do such films.
Yeah, like he's not a bad director. He just makes bad movies.
Wait, stop!
Maybe he should try making another.
Serious
But I would
movie.
love to see that actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I would support if like it definitely seems like something that's
Right.
relatable and like kind of serious in a Singaporean context. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. I think this one was just trying to be too many things, like this movie, and I guess maybe it was like a very rushed thing. Everything was like very like he wants to get it out before Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
And I think he's riding the like Our Boys to Men wave like for
Yeah.
far too long. There's like
Yeah.
so many sequels.
He's like beating a dead horse by now.
Yeah.
lah.
And but of course there were comments from like the cast of Our Boys to Men who were like standing up for the girls and everything. And to be honest, like the girls didn't deserve this much of like hate and negative criticism and everything. It's just objectively it was not their fault. You know what I mean? Because it's their job. They were paid to be acting the role that Jack Neo portrayed. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that they worked so hard to only face such like criticism also lah. But they probably cannot do anything about it also, right? Yeah, and Tosh actually replied and said, Our Girls Go Army has just broken the SG 1 million mark in the box office. Okay, I guess it's referring to the first movie lah. And it says like within a few days of release, but there's this show, ? The haters might seem very loud online with their disdain for the film and saying it will be an absolute box office flop. But time and time again, since Our Boys to Men 1, the silent supporters will always be even louder, eventually by going to the cinemas and buying tickets to show their love and support. I'm immensely proud of the Our Girls Go Army cast, and it's not been easy for them facing so much negativity, blah blah blah. Congratulations. Well,
I mean, no hate on the cast lah, but this kind of very cop-out statements is a bit lame. It's like haters make me famous.
Yeah.
A bit leh, and
I mean,
it's true leh.
Like with a lot of like Singaporeans who are rich, it doesn't mean you have taste.
Yeah.
So, right?
Good point. Some comments or things to talk about.
I'm so sorry.
Who calling? Jack Neo calling you for casting.
Can you join?
You got cast out on the spot.
I mean, some things to think about is like, what's the difference between like valid criticism and being a hater?
I think like us right now, we are balancing both very well.
We're trying to.
We're trying.
We're trying.
I feel like we are not trying to shade for no reason.
Yeah.
Like there are points that are worth discussing also. Yeah.
Like it's not anything personal at all. Like, I think the cast did a great job. I particularly like the character Amanda and Yuan Yuan.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like they played their role to the best of their abilities with the limited like lines that they had. We are free to like judge a film as it is. You know, we're not saying the people suck. We're not saying that Jack Neo sucks. We're saying that the movie could definitely be improved. Yeah.
I feel like those people who hate are just people who, I guess, like pick on the characters or like just be like, I guess they are very, the way they bring about their thoughts are not like in a very like constructive manner. So that's why. And I think a lot of people maybe went to watch the show to hate watch, supposedly. Yeah, like they could have earned a lot of money, but it's really like what you said, like the hate, like he said like the haters are making us famous, that kind of thing, which is kind of true, I guess. And by all means, if you make money out of it, and like the haters go there and have a good laugh or have like something that they want to talk about, at the end of the day, you get it's a win-win, right? You get the money, you get the publicity, even though it may not be positive publicity, but maybe he doesn't care about it being like positive or negative publicity. You know what I mean?
But I feel like for the entire like series, you got Boys to Men and everything, right? Did they have like haters though?
I think have.
Yeah,
for sure have.
Like haters, like the unnecessary kind of hate.
Yeah, what are they hating on exactly?
Yeah, because it's like whatever that people discuss have always been very valid points anyway. It's not just like I hate it because I hate it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I guess like some people just refuse to see like the comedy in it. Maybe they just really like too critical, like overly critical of it. Like they are just taking it too seriously. Maybe I guess the way Jack Neo wanted it to be, or like whoever wanted this movie to be, it's more lighthearted, more like like not so, it's like exaggerated, but like it's to make people laugh at the relatableness of the how exaggerated the characters are, I guess.
It's like how the content is so like localized, like no one other than us will relate to it.
Correct.
So I cannot see someone that is like not Singaporean or like
no 100%.
don't know anything about it. Like they are not gonna laugh at it lah.
Yeah, but I think that also like leads to the sad point that this is not a good representation of local talent and local films. Because I guess from like the local art scene, there's so much more quality content, you know, like serious topics being portrayed in film, like short films or feature films that don't get as much traction just because it doesn't like resonate with the like everyday Singaporean population, which is quite sad because like those films are actually great, but barely anyone's watching it in Singapore because it's not like pushed at Golden Village like non-stop. I don't know.
And I guess also it's not a good representation of like girls in the army, right? So which leads to like fine. Yes, girls in general, correct.
But how do you think girls will be like in the army?
I think it can't be like in the entire platoon, right? Everyone is a girly girl with like fancy nails and everything, and like Amanda's the only one who's supposed to be the tomboy. It cannot be what? Like you see everybody go F45 now. Don't tell me like not even one of them can like run very fast. I don't believe.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of women in army, you know, I think after that, like to wrap up this video, MINDEF actually said that if you are interested or like Singaporeans are curious about women soldiers in BMT, to watch their own series. They really threw the shade on this movie series sequel situation. We can take a look at the MINDEF video here. Okay. Yeah, because I actually don't know. I didn't see their series, but I heard about this comment.
Training to be soldiers. Fight for our land.
Okay, the singing also hurts me, but yes.
Have you ever wondered
why do they always want to make army about singing? Is it? Okay. Sorry, my hair is standing again. Should we join the army? I don't think I can, but sure.
What's wrong? Why can't you?
I got no nails, I cannot. Playing to the gender stereotype. I'm kidding. No lah, I think it depends on what you want. I don't feel very patriotic to my country, I guess. Oops, should I not say that in the video?
Oh yeah, there was one thing that like didn't really sit right with me. I don't know how y'all feel lah, but you know when the minister was saying like, oh, due to declining birth rates, then it made it feel like it's the woman's fault that this happened, right? Like it implied it. That was like, I mean, it's also another discussion to be made about like abortion rights and all that, right? So I mean, but that's another topic lah.
That's truly another topic.
So like what, are you trying to say that like, okay, since like you guys are not reproducing, then might as well you all go army? Is that
no, it's that there's not enough people, so they have to go army.
Right. Yeah, but like as in like the link with like women can do whatever they want with their bodies. Is it more of like, since you all don't want to give birth, then you all go army?
I don't know if that was the intention lah, but you know.
But maybe it came off that way.
Yeah.
Maybe if you give birth, then you don't need to go army.
Correct. Like
would you give birth?
Maybe, I guess.
You heard it here first.
You know, I considered auditioning for this
movie.
Thank God I did not. Yeah. Imagine me. I would have zero screen time.
What role would you want to play?
No, I wanted to do the tattoo one because I think they were looking for a tattoo person. That kind of thing. I said I go and learn Muay Thai, but I mean Kelly did an amazing job. I don't need it.
Last year, right?
Yeah. So I was like, wow, actually like,
interesting. Tell you shouldn't do it.
No, I own self say I shouldn't do it at the end of the day. But I thought like, oh, interesting to like try and see how audition would be like. Thank God, I did not. Thank God. Imagine. Girls.
Well, you addressed the part today though.
I was gonna say this at the start of the video, but I totally forgot that I am dressed the part. I came here looking like I was going to go to the army
BMT.
with my cargo shorts
and gentle monster sunglasses.
And my gentle, yeah. You know what? I cannot go army because my sunglasses will break. Already for my life. Okay, anyway. Not sure whether Our Girls Go Army Again or Part 2 was an improvement from Our Girls Go Army 1. But I think the consensus from what Jack Neo said was like, he said that he was worried that if the flag from the first film will affect the turnout for the second film. And like he said that he is very confident that the sequel will do well and hopes that Our Girls Go Army Again crosses 3 million in SG. My producer wrote lol here. Like, very good producer. But then after that, I think like some of the reviews from maybe news sites, they said that there was a huge improvement compared to like the first movie. There was like less product placement and more focus on the plot and like less stereotypical humor, which I guess it did have a little bit less.
Hard to compare, right? Because we didn't watch the first one.
No, but just from the trailer, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like I think that the first one really had a lot of playing to like the stereotypes. I think the second one a little bit better. Like the only one that I really saw was like the girls like fawning over like the sergeants and stuff. The rest of it they seemed pretty like, you know, gung ho to like do okay lah. They're like, I cannot, sergeant, I'm very tired. Then they do lah. Yeah, they still do in the end lah. But I guess it's still okay. Like that's not too bad because everybody will be tired, right? If you cannot force to go army, then you do it. You don't want to do. I get it lah. I get it. Okay, so final thoughts. Are you more excited for Jack Neo movies in the future?
A serious one, maybe.
Okay.
Like, I want to see him do a serious piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I will watch Our Girls Go Army again.
Yeah.
Is that really what it's going to go?
Yeah. Okay, so what if Our Girls Go Army 3 comes out?
I'm already down the rabbit hole. I'll just.
You just pay to go and watch, right? To see what
No, you're just down the Glenn Young rabbit hole.
That kind of wraps up today's episode. Thanks everybody for talking about the movie and sharing your thoughts on, you know, the good things and maybe the not as good things. I don't know whether we'll watch the future Jack Neo sequels to this show. But okay, you want to go with me?
I'll think about it.
I think if you're inside,
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
go. If you know you're going to the premiere, maybe cannot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So easy. I'm a star.
Yeah, so Jack Neo, please cast her. Her Chinese very good one. And if you need token minority, also can cast me. Up to you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know your thoughts on the show in the comment section down below. And what else you would like us to talk about in future episodes of Zula Chit Chats. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye.